So this is a new series that I've come up with called Ah Hell Nah. And this may be the one and only video from this series, but thought I'd give it a shot. I ain't doing nothing else on a Saturday night. So let me tell you why though. All right. So I've been shopping. I shop at an organic health food grocery store here. Not always, but for a lot of my stuff. And so for the past 6 months or so, there's been a little guy there. He works there, and he's been like flirting with me, and really it's kind of been like a pedophile. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but he's been building up to. I knew what it was leading up to. One time, oh, you smell so nice. What's that perfume you're wearing? Another time, oh my God, you look so incredible today. Where have you been? Where are you coming from? Another time, oh, where I've missed you. Where have you been? You don't come in here enough, and on, right? So, and and he always gives me the hookup when I'm at the deli and I'm getting, like, if I get a little dinner to go, he always gives me these humongous portions, and I can make like 2 or 3 meals out of it, for the same price. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate his sweetness, but not interested. And but anyway, so. Like I said, it's been leading up to it, and I knew it was coming, and I kept, I thought, okay, what can I say? I don't want to hurt his feelings, and plus I have to shop in that store, and so I don't want it to be awkward, but, so what do I say? Do I say I have a boyfriend, or, I don't know, who knows? So anyway, a few days ago, I was actually in the store. And the last time I was in there, he had asked me to send him a message on Facebook, and I'm like, okay. And I did, because, I try to stick to if I say I'm going to do something, I try to do it. But he never responded to it. So I was like, well, maybe it didn't go through or whatever, but that's fine with me. So when I was in there a few days ago, he asked me if I, had sent him an email, and I'm like, well, I did. I mean, I said, it had a little boy on the picture. Was that you? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, well, that went through. And he said, oh, well, that's my son. I'm like, oh, well, sweet, blah, blah, blah. So I said, well, I did. So maybe it just didn't notify you. You can check the email the next time you go on. And then I kind of like left, and I went down another aisle and continued shopping. I was just trying to kind of get out of there. And he followed me to the aisle, and I'm like, oh God, here it comes. And he did, and he's always like been really nervous when he's talking to me. And for me, that's not necessarily endearing. I like a man with confidence, but anyway. So he comes around and he's like, well, he goes, I like you, and I want to know you away from the store. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I said, well, thank you so much, but I actually have a boyfriend. And he's like, oh, well, I'm married. And I'm like, oh. And he's like, yeah. And he goes, I want you to meet my wife, and I want you to meet my son, and I just think you're a great person. And I'm like, I said, well, yeah, I was like, what I said was, well, sure, maybe we can have coffee sometime. But what I was thinking and what I wanted to say was, hell no, you didn't. I mean, you just disrespected yourself, your wife, your child, the sacrament of marriage, and God, for goodness sakes. And what does that say about me? That you think I'm that kind of woman that would actually go out with a married man? Hell no, you really just disrespected me. You might as well have just called me a bee or a hoe. But I didn't, because I got to shop there. I like it. I like the food. I like my organic food. So I just, kept it to coffee. And so hopefully that'll just end it there. But ladies, here's my point. When a married man asks you out, it is not a compliment. In fact, it is one of the biggest insults that someone could give you, because basically what they're saying is, hey, I'm a loser. I don't have any values. I have no commitment or loyalty to my family, and I think you're probably the same type of person, and we can hook up. So don't take it as a compliment, because I told some people about it, and they're like, oh, well, that's sweet, like it's a compliment. I'm like, hell no. What would Medea say? That's what I want to know. I wish, everybody got a little bit of Medea in them, and I wish Medea had come out, really, but probably wasn't appropriate. So here I sit on Saturday night, having a little glass of wine, enjoying time to myself. It's too hot to do anything anyway. But I think I will just wait for my Christ-centered man of God, and much rather stay here on a Saturday night by myself than going out with a married man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, just my thoughts. like to hear your stories of married men, of how married men have asked any of you out. I'd be curious and what you think.